All right, guys, final day of practice on Pickwick for the Walmart FLW Tour event, and I've corralled me some Jimmy Reese.
That's it.
Jimmy, you told me you came down here in March to come take a look around. When you came down here, what were you looking for? What did you see?
Well, what I saw isn't what I expected, because they actually dropped the water about 7-8 feet the week prior because of a tragic thing that happened with a boat and 2 kids. But so, you know, I came here to look around to see, just basically see the lake.
Okay.
And I did spend a couple days fishing. I was planning on kind of seeing the backwaters and everything, but you couldn't get to the backwaters. So,
Yeah.
which was good for fishing because it just pushed everything to the edge.
Okay.
Right. So I mean, basically, I found a lay down pattern and, you know, caught a bunch of fish. But you know, is it going to help me for today? Well, as you guys can see, the water is 7 feet higher.
Yeah, it's regular.
So now we get to venture off wherever you want. But these fish are pretty much scattered right now.
Okay. This week, have you focused in on looking shallow in those backwaters that you couldn't get to before, sort of figuring it's a springtime bite, they're not all the way out yet, or have you kind of bounced around?
Well, I bought a lot of spoons.
Like those big ones?
Yeah, the big ones.
Oh, okay.
I bought some hair jigs. I got my 10 XDs,
So
my 6 XDs.
You went full Tennessee River.
I'm ready, you know. Man, my biggest fish is I've caught out deep. Probably about 20 feet of water. I'm just not getting enough bites. So that was the first day. Second day, I ventured shallow, got into some backwaters and even main lake shallow, and caught some fish. You know, so you know, there's still some spawning, but I don't know where the majority is. You know, are they feeding up by the dam? You know, maybe both dams, or are they way back up in the creeks and doing their thing up there? Or are they out in the ledges just, you know?
You haven't quite found them yet.
You know, it's, well, you know, it's tough.
It may be that they're nowhere in a majority. You know, they could be just really scattered around.
I think they are. I don't think they're grouped up yet. So, which tells me you know, the shallow water pattern might be the way to go. But it's just, you know, this lake for 2 days is hard enough, you know, in the backwaters with as many good fishermen there are.
Yeah, no doubt.
So,
for you, did you spend every day here on Pickwick, or did you venture up to Wilson at all?
No, I'm kicking myself. Today was the day. Do I go to Wilson? And now I wish I did, because today was brutal. I mean, I had a few good bites today, but you know, it was brutal. So, yeah.
Okay.
But you know something? I'm that kind of guy. I'll just wing it and go.
Yeah. No, and I mean, you know how to go catch fish. You know, that's for sure.
So, yeah, you know, and the big difference, this pond here has gone up and down 7 feet a couple times in the last month.
Yeah.
And so, you know, where Wilson Lake, it's staying stable. You know, they're doing their thing, they're spawning, they're moving out, you know, whatever they're doing right now. And so, you know, there might be a little more, you can figure out patterns up on Wilson Lake right now. Okay. Probably a little easier than here. So, and kind of just seeing what happened on the other tour up at Wheeler, and what happened at Kentucky Lake, because I stopped there too.
Yep.
You know, it's kind of all pretty similar what's going on right now. So.
Okay, I guess my last question, Jimmy, you're one of our pundits. I'm pretty sure you own yourself in fantasy fishing, fantasyfishing.com, if you haven't set your lineups yet. Are you still going to own yourself here? Are you still a good buy?
You know, I'm sticking with it. You know, I didn't choose myself the first couple tournaments just because, trying to be fair, let one other person in, but you know, I gotta stick with my guns. You know, it's just because it's not an easy bite, you know, that sometimes that's good.
Oh yeah.
You know, so
when if catching 5 a day and you get a couple good ones, there you go. It's nothing to it.
Yeah, and I feel pretty good about my team. I think you guys are in trouble.
All righty, I like it. I tell you what, I love my team too. This week, I hate to tell you, I don't know if you know, I made an adjustment. I had you on. I took you off about a day and a half ago, Jimmy. I still love you, but
You're brutal.
I mean, I feel good regardless.
I make you coffee. I bring you donuts. I mean, I do everything I'm supposed to, and you won't pick me?
Okay, the coffee you've made me. Donuts, I don't know. I'm going to assume that's a future thing.
Okay.
But man, Jimmy, thanks for stopping by, and good luck out there.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Alrighty, next up, Andy Morgan, the GOAT, Mr. Tennessee River, Mr. Everything. I kind of figured that you would be loving this tournament, that it would be a little bit of everything going on. It could be right up your alley. How have you found practice so far?
Well, I think you're dead on it when you said a little bit of everything going on. A little bit of everything is going on. A little bit.
Just a real little.
A real little bit. It's extremely tough. You know, I noticed the elite guys at Wheeler, they had a tough time.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, Takahiro blasted them in the end offshore with, 25-pound bags. I don't doubt that will happen here, but right now it's really tough. I mean, you struggle to get keeper bites and really struggle to get bites, period. Okay. Offshore or on the bank, either way.
All right. Have you done a little bit of everything in practice?
I have. I've been offshore just a little bit, not a whole lot, but I've really beat the bank, and I actually fished some grass too, but it's been tough everywhere we turn. It's just a hard bite. It's, I guess, kind of typical maybe for the Tennessee River. It's just, some days you wear them out when they kind of get over the little funk that they get in, I guess, after the spawn.
Yeah.
But before that, it's always pretty tough to catch them.
Now, you told me you were blasting them up on Chickamauga just recently.
Oh, yeah.
I guess, what's the difference between there and right here, and do you think maybe it'll turn into that?
Man, I don't know. I really thought when I left home, because we really caught them good the day before I left. I mean, we caught like 7 over 4 pounds and had a lot of bites, caught a lot of fish. Any way you wanted to catch them, deep or shallow. I thought down here would be just, right on that line.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the difference is. I don't know if Chickamauga is just that much better or it's that region. I'm probably 100, 125 miles north of here.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's just that region or what's going on, but it's Pickwick is not like Chickamauga right now.
Okay. I'm gonna probably add a little bit to whatever number you give me, but have you got any idea what we're looking at for a winning weight this week? Considering you've been out there, I'm sure you've caught at least some fish.
Yeah, I've caught some fish. I mean, no big fish, but I mean, you're still on the Tennessee River. It's May. Somebody is going to stumble up on the mother lode. I think it's going to be a 20-pound-a-day deal. Now, to get a good check, your 50th place, your $10,000 check, you're talking maybe 11, 12 pounds a day may get that.
Really? Mm-hmm. All right. For you, have you tried to look at any of the shad spawn type deal going on? Because I understand that obviously we're launching out at 6:30, so it's not maybe ideal time to take advantage of that, but it's got to be happening somewhere on the lake.
It is. I've seen quite a few shad spawning, and I saw some fish eating them. I saw largemouth, smallmouth both eating those shad. But it's not extremely good. I mean, you get into those fish, and I've caught a few fish like that each morning other than this morning, but they were, 2-pounders, pound and a halfers. A lot of them were not even keepers. So, the big school of shad spawners I've not seen yet. I guess that's probably what Takahiro caught up at Wheeler.
I would imagine
it sounded
so,
like
yeah.
He was on top of a bar in a shad spawn situation. I don't doubt somebody will do that here. Maybe this cold, I don't know, it's going to be like 44 the opening morning of the tournament on Thursday morning.
That's nippy.
That's nippy. I don't know if it's going to back those shad down and back the bite off even worse. We'll just have to see. It's a toss-up.
Okay. I guess my last question, as this lake goes, it has a lot more grass in it than it used to.
Yes.
Is the grass really good all over the place, or are there some really defined sections where you've got much better grass than elsewhere?
It seems to be scattered kind of all over the lake, around Coger Island in that area, a lot of grass.
Okay.
As you went down the lake, I mean, I still seem to find grass pretty much everywhere that I went, but it seemed to be really thick around Coger, and it's kind of new to me. I mean, the last time we were here, there was some grass, but now it's kind of really just everywhere. So it's kind of new, kind of odd, and I know these fish are probably using that grass a lot more than they are the shoreline right now. The water's down, bass like grass, and the water's not up in the bushes like I'd hoped it was or would be. So I'm sure they're using the grass and some of the offshore stuff a lot more.
All righty. Well, Andy, I tell you what, I've got faith in you to figure out whatever is going on out there. I expect, by the end of this tournament, you're going to be pretty happy coming away with it regardless. So.
Well, I hope so. I'm going to be tickled anyway. Turkey season's still open. I can always go back and turkey hunt if I don't catch them. So.
All righty. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
All right, boys, closing the night out here, as often is the case with Brad night. Brad, tell me, what was your kind of plan coming into this practice for Pickwick here?
Well, I know I wanted to spend at least one day on Wilson, and I got that out of the way the first day of practice. Okay. And it was fair. It wasn't great, and it wasn't terrible. It just kind of middle of the road, I would say. Then I spent my other 2 days in Pickwick. I think Pickwick is probably where I'm going to end up spending the tournament. So my initial plan, I think, was to start on Wilson, fish it the day, fish the next day on Pickwick, and then kind of go from there on which one I thought was going to be the better option for me.
All right. Right now, the weather forecast has some pretty big wind for at least the first day of the tournament. How do you think that affects things for guys on either one of the lakes or just patterns in general?
Well, I think it's going to have a big effect if it blows really hard, and out of which direction, that's going to be the key. I've got to find that out. But sitting offshore, if that's your battle plan, that's going to have a pretty big effect if you're talking 3 or 4 foot rollers coming down it's a pretty straight river, so you get those big rollers.
It comes the right way.
Yeah, you're going to be pretty affected by that stuff.
Okay. Down in Pickwick, where you spent the majority of your time, have you tried to do a little bit of everything, or have you kind of focused in on anything in particular that you feel like maybe not even is necessarily the thing to do, but fits what you want to do?
Well, I have. It's the first week of May on the Tennessee River. It's kind of a junk fishing deal. You can fish your strengths. You can be out deep, you can fish shallow, and I've tried a little bit of everything, and the fish seem to be kind of scattered out. I've caught some out deep, I've caught some pretty shallow, so it's kind of a little bit of everything, not a lot of anything.
Okay. Have you found yourself a swim bait bite? I know I gotta ask.
Yeah, that's just part of it. Yeah, we've caught a few on a swim bait. It'll definitely be on the front deck. A couple of different fashions of them. We got some big ones that'll be out, as well as some smaller ones as well.
All right. Today's the last day of practice. You're done. It's the off day. If you were gonna go out tomorrow, if you had one more day, what do you think you would do? Would you go back up to Wilson and spend some more time there, or would you try and figure a little more out in Pickwick?
No, I'd probably just spend the whole day just staring at those Garmin graphs. I'd just be out on the start on one end and go all the way to the other, just spend more time graphing. Trying to find that needle in the haystack, as we just saw like on Wheeler in the Bassmaster tournament. It just takes one spot, to actually blow a tournament out, and that's going to be the deal here. The one guy that finds the place that 2 or 3 or 4 places that have them where they're first getting to is going to be the one that wins this tournament.
All right. A lot of guys have kind of said it's a little bit tough, or tougher than they maybe anticipated. Do you think actually catching keeper fish is going to be a big issue, or do you think it's catching that 3 and 4 and that real big bite consistently that's the more of the pressing issue?
I think what I've seen, it just depends on how you want to fish. I mean, you can kind of fish one way and get some bites, but your quality's not really there.
Okay.
But to fish for the quality, there's not a lot of numbers there. So it's that deal where do you sacrifice getting going out and saying, if I can get 7 bites, they're going to be strong, or do you try to get 30 bites and try to wade through numbers? And that's gets back into the decision part. That's the whole deal out here. Everybody in this tournament can cast. Everybody knows how to flip a jig under a dock. It's what the decisions you make whenever you idle out of that little jetty right there and turn down the river, or what you go do to determine whether you have a good tournament or not. So that's going to be the thing. We've got the cup made already, so points aren't really a thing for me. So I'm going to fish for quality. If I can, it's you just try to win. That's what it's all about.
This tournament seems like one that you could be swinging in, I would say, based on your affinity for the Tennessee River.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you try to do at every tournament. Everybody wants to win. That's why we're all here. But I'm not interested in trying to catch 30. I want to try to catch the right ones. I guess I'll take 30 of the right ones, but I'm fishing.
That'd be a day.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm targeting quality. That's my deal. I'm sacrificing. It may not work out, but if it does, it'll be good.
All right. Well, Brad, thanks for stopping by, and man, good luck out there once you get started.
Thank you.